Okay, awesome. So, yeah, thank you for taking time to come talk to me today and schedule the call.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you too for having this talk with me and sharing some information.
Yeah, definitely. So, I guess before we go forward, just to confirm, you're fine with me sharing this call on our YouTube on my YouTube channel?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I'm fine with sharing it.
Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up. Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So, generally, how I start the call is you tell me a little bit about your business and a little bit about what you're doing, what your plans are, and then we go from there.
Okay, cool. So basically, I'm in the e-commerce business, and recently I opened a single member LLC in Wyoming.
Okay.
And I'm finding it a little bit confusing because like there is a lot of information, and sometimes this information is like you know uh, it's confusing because some people tell that one thing, other people tell a different thing, and it can get overwhelming actually.
Yeah, sure.
And I started following your YouTube channel and like started getting some actually valuable knowledge, and that's how I found out about this meeting. So I signed up, and here we are having this meeting. So basically, like the main confusion with me is like I'm not completely entirely sure what forms exactly I need to submit in general, since I'm not a U.S. citizen. So I found out there's different forms for non-U.S. citizens, and also another main question I have is, since I'm not a U.S. citizen and it's a pass-through entity, so that the tax should be paid by the owner, me. Uh, shouldn't I pay this tax actually in my country, the country of my residence, or I still need to pay the tax in US as well?
So, okay, good. All good questions. What do you do for what's your business? What do you do for work?
It's e-commerce. I'm
Oh,
selling.
e-commerce. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So you do you keep inventory in the U.S.?
I have a fulfillment partner. It's not associated with me. It's like I'm basically uh, marketing his product, and I'm getting a commission of this product.
Sure.
But he is not my employee. We're not connected legally in any way.
Okay. No, that's pretty standard actually. So, um, first off, you're right. The LLC is disregarded for tax purposes, and generally, most countries. I don't know the laws of Bulgaria, but most countries would want to tax you on that,
Mhm.
especially since you're not paying taxes in the United States. If you had a corporation and you were paying taxes in the United States, it would be a little bit different. But
Mhm.
since you're doing all the work and you live in Bulgaria, it's likely they want tax revenues there. So
Mhm.
that's the first thing. The second is you do not have to pay any taxes in the U.S. There's only really two forms you have to do as a foreign-owned single-member LLC. Well, there's only one form you have to do as a foreign-owned single-member LLC.
Mhm.
It's just that form 5472 that I have a lot of videos on the channel about it. And it's basically this form is just to report transactions you have between yourself and the company.
Mhm. Mhm.
And and you have to do that by April 15th of every year. And it's based on the period of January to December of the prior year.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's pretty much that. And then you have to renew the company with Wyoming every year. And that should be a couple $100 to do
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. Another question, maybe you can help me. Like, since I opened the LLC quite recently, I think I opened it on 9th this month. And I applied for employee identification tax because I told you I got confused and all this information. And I haven't like, basically my question is, I applied for the employer identification number like 2 weeks and a half ago, and it's supposed to come 4 days after my application. But actually, as you said, if I only have to do the 5472 form, I don't need to file the 1040 form, so I
Yeah,
don't
no,
need the.
no 1040 form. So you filed for an ITIN for yourself?
Mhm. No, no,
Uh,
no, I haven't.
And,
I
and
haven't.
okay, you would, okay, so you filed for an EIN number for the company.
Yes,
Well, you need
exactly.
that. You need that for most things. You need that for almost everything you register for. So
That's actually true. That's actually true.
You need it's very important. So you need it if you ever use basically anything, any online service. And then the I-10 is a tax ID for yourself, and that's more for payment processors. And if you're doing e-commerce, are you doing Amazon or like Shopify?
No, actually, I'm doing ClickFunnels at the moment.
Oh, you're doing through ClickFunnels and through web.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, ClickFunnels is awesome too. So
Yeah, yeah.
so you sell only probably a couple of products then. What kind of products do you sell? I'm just curious now.
It's like in the beauty niche. It's related with the, you can say face care. Like it's a
Okay.
product for maintaining your face clean, like micro peeling and all that nice stuff for the ladies.
Yeah, sure. It's a huge industry. Okay. So, and you do it through
Definitely.
ClickFunnels. That's awesome. Okay. So, um, the only other thing that you're gonna have to worry about in the future possibly is sales taxes.
Mhm.
And do you know anything about sales taxes?
I know that sales taxes are paid in the state. If for example, if I'm selling in Wyoming, I should pay sales tax. Is that correct?
It's where the customer is located. So, it's wherever you're shipping the products to. And
Mm-hmm.
you there's different thresholds to determine when you need to collect sales taxes, and it's probably most important for you to have an understanding of it since you're using ClickFunnels, because
Mm-hmm.
if you do Amazon, they do most of the work for you, and if you do
Mm-hmm.
Shopify, they have a lot of integrations to do sales taxes. I don't know how they do it in ClickFunnels because
Mm-hmm.
it's not traditionally an e-commerce site. It's like a funnel site, it's not
Yes,
meant
yes.
only for that, right? So sales taxes, if you have inventory in a state or do services in a state, you have to do sales taxes. But since you have none of that, it's all economic nexus threshold, which means that if you cross 200 sales in a state,
Mm-hmm.
or $100,000 of total sales in a state, and every state has their own sales tax laws. Every state in the
I
United
see.
States.
I see.
So that's the generic threshold that most states follow is 200
Mm-hmm.
individual sales or $100,000 of
Mm-hmm.
gross sales. Then you would have to start collecting sales tax in the state. That means you charge it to the people you're selling to, and then pay it to the state. And it's not really an easy way to do that through ClickFunnels. I don't know if there is, but I don't know if you're at that level yet either. But
I'll probably just pay it from my margins since it's really difficult to collect sales tax automatically in ClickFunnels.
what you could consider is using a Shopify integration in ClickFunnels, because Shopify is pretty good at it, and using
Mm-hmm.
like maybe the payment page of your funnel to
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
integrated with Shopify somehow. So because
Mm-hmm.
Shopify does a really great job at tracking that stuff, and it's pretty cheap
Mm-hmm.
in general. Like it's like $25 a month, and I don't know what levels of sales you're at. So that's just something
Yeah,
to
I'm
think
familiar
about.
with Shopify as well. My question for sales taxes would be, when I collect the sales, how do I report the sales taxes?
So you register, it's really annoying. You have to register with every single state, and you have to file quarterly or monthly depending on your sales, or annually depending on your sales, with every single
Mm-hmm.
state that
Mm-hmm.
you're required to file in.
Okay. Okay.
So you register with the state, and then you file all the forms every
Mm-hmm.
month. Yeah.
Could you clarify a little bit for me? What does closing month of acquiring year exactly mean? Because like I found out that you can have it either on 12 months ending on December, or you can have it like full year after you open your LLC. What are the differences in the two types of accounting years?
You generally want to just use the calendar year for a business, like a simple business. Like you have a one-man business, so
Mm-hmm.
it's always gonna be easier just to use January to December.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, if you open the company in March, then you're a year. The first year is basically March until December 31st.
Okay, 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 okay. That makes
So
sense.
it's like the first year is a short year, and then every year after that's going to be the full year.
Okay, so basically there's not much difference between the two types of accounting years.
No, the only reason you would do like a different year is, if like one popular reason is, let's say you're a subsidiary of a company based in another country that uses a different tax year, like England or like the UK.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
like April to April. So maybe you want
Okay.
to have the same tax year just for reporting purposes, but for tax purposes, it's just easier to use a calendar year.
Okay. Okay. So basically, what you're saying to me is that like I should report my taxes in my country where I'm resident, and this like I won't be double charged in the both countries for taxes. That's my main concern.
Well, yes, exactly. So you're not paying any taxes in the United States.
Mhm.
What are the tax rates in Bulgaria? What kind? How much tax are you going to pay there?
I'll be paying 12%, I believe, flat rate.
Yeah, that's
More or
awesome. So
less.
that's less than you would pay in the U.S. So it's better to do it like that.
Yeah, it's because like we have this clause that if you're doing business outside of Bulgaria, you're paying like just 12% flat. I mean, if the revenue is coming outside the territory of Bulgaria, you're paying 12% tax.
Nice.
If
That's a
you're
internet-friendly tax laws.
yeah, it's actually quite internet friendly. Yeah, many people are starting like to realize that, you know, because like it's also it's a good destination because, for example, let's say Panama or other countries, um, they are associated with how to say tax avoidance
Yeah, sure.
tactics and
Yeah,
strategies, and like
yeah, that movie came out in Panama. Everyone thinks it's the worst place. The Panama Papers and everything. Yeah.
yeah, and like in Bulgaria, it's actually a European Union country, so like it's still like has a prestige. It's not so popular. I mean, like not so many people know about the Bulgaria, but the taxes are quite good, you know, and it's my home country as well, so it happens to work quite well for me.
Yeah, well, I tell all my clients, it's you can't beat having like an LLC and pay no taxes here. You have a U.S. business, U.S. accounts, and everything, and pay no taxes in the U.S. It's pretty awesome.
I think like that isn't that the double treaty.
It's nothing to do with the treaty, really. Just because of the way the LLCs are set up, and
Uh-huh.
because of you don't really have presence here, but you have a
Mhm.
company here, and you're able to use the software and the technology and invoice and kind of operate a digital business in the U.S. without paying any taxes here. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of countries consider Delaware LLC like a tax haven
Mhm.
thing. Like it's on a blacklist for a lot of countries, like Brazil and Ecuador. A Delaware LLC is like
Mhm.
there's different penalties for having one.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it's like treated as like a tax haven. So yeah.
So another question, since I'll be paying tax in my country, basically there is no point of filing for S corp taxations, I guess.
You can't. S corps have to be U.S. residents or citizens, so you would never be
Okay.
able to do an S corp. Um, a C corp might be what you need if you want to do that.
Hmm.
If you need to pay taxes here and not pay taxes there, but it's a little complicated because if you have a C corporation,
Hmm.
you have to pay yourself a salary and you can't take dividends because dividends have additional
Hmm.
withholding taxes on them.
Hmm.
So it's a lot more complicated administratively to run a C corporation. And if you're not, it's better for people who pay like a really high taxes in their home country. So
Hmm.
if let's say if you were in Belgium instead of Bulgaria, the Belgians
Hmm.
pay like 50% on whatever they
Wow.
make. So they say, look, give me a C corporation, I'll pay 21%, and I'll leave a lot of my profits in the company.
Okay,
So
I
that's
see.
it's more for that. For you, you're only paying 12%. So use the LLC and just pay taxes there. That's definitely the best way to do it.
Okay, I see. Maybe that would be like next step if I decide to expand the business and actually relocate in US.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, if you ever want to like get visas, there's a lot of cool immigration options. But for the C corporation will allow you to like have employees, have an office, keep inventory. You need something like
Hmm.
that. Otherwise, it gets really complicated with you owning all that stuff personally. Because
Okay,
then you have to
okay.
file it on a personal tax return. It's just that's when it gets easier using a C corporation.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. By holding inventory, what exactly are you referring to? Because, for example, I'm recently thinking of using some of the fulfillment centers like Amazon. Would that count as my inventory, or it will be counted as like their inventory? Because like it's not my facility, but like I've paid for the stuff. So.
So right now, that's a good question. Right now, as I understand the law to be interpreted,
Hmm.
that's not like physical presence for you, that doesn't count as you having inventory. I expect the laws to change soon so that if you're using fulfillment centers, it counts as you having inventory and a physical
Okay.
presence in the country. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like you have like you have a presence and your income is connected with the US.
Mm-hmm.
I expect that to change at some point because everyone wants their tax revenues. The U.S. wants their tax revenues, and that's something that's the
Yeah.
next logical step. You have all your inventory here,
Mm-hmm.
pay taxes. But so far, from my understanding, that's not being done like that.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. Actually, it's really helpful this conversation because, like, to be honest, like I got my head full with all different forms, S corporation taxations, and I just consumed so much information in the last 1 month from a channel mainly.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
There's a ton of information online, and without context, it's really
yeah,
it doesn't make sense. And there's a lot of information that's conflicting. A lot of it that doesn't make
exactly.
that's wrong maybe, and because anyone can put anything on YouTube. I've just been doing this for my whole career, and I just like doing YouTube too.
Hmm. I see. I see. How do we find YouTube? Is it like, are you looking at YouTube as like a platform to educate the people, or you're looking as diversifying your type of
Uh,
activities you do?
for everything, I'm using YouTube. I'm not making ad revenue, but I'm helping people, and then some people pay me to do stuff. So,
Mhm.
for example, you next year when you have to do Form 5472, and you're
Mhm.
like, I don't want to do it, you could just, and your business is growing, you don't have time for it, you just
Mhm.
call me,
Mhm.
and I could do it for you. That's like, so it's more getting
Okay.
clients and helping people like
Like,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, that's a good way of getting clients, you know, like nowadays in the world, like most of the time, especially in your business, which is like kind of related to informational business. It's not like selling us a product or something.
yeah.
Like you have to like be you have to give a little bit in the beginning, so to win the rapport with the customers, like win his trust and
Yeah,
like build a connection. Because like your business is more like you have a very long customer lifespan, you know, like when a customer starts working with you, it's going to be continuous, you know.
yeah. In tax and accounting, most of my clients stay with me for a pretty long time, so it's
Mhm.
pretty long in this. I mean, we're not working doing a ton of stuff. It's just every year something, whenever something comes up, and it's what's cool about YouTube. What we're doing now, these videos, it's helping people, educating people, and I would have never met you if I didn't have a YouTube channel.
Actually, it's absolutely crazy, man. Like watching it just like an hour ago on the YouTube video, and now speaking with you. Actually, it's a little bit mind blowing, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
happy to help.
interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you have do you have other questions? I still have 10 more minutes till my next call.
To be honest, basically you answered 99% in my questions with 2 sentences. Like you told me about the 5472 form. That's the only thing I need to do. I
By
need to get
April,
my
by April
yeah.
15th of next year. Yeah.
Do I have to? Yeah, that's a good point because like I haven't filed anything for this year,
You don't
and
have
it's
to do
like
anything until the end. So this year you opened your company in March, right? You said.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So after this year is over, March to December, that's the end of the year. Then you have
Okay.
until April 15th of the next year to file the forms.
Wow. Because like I was almost like wondering how I'm gonna pull it off because like I just found out recently, like 3 weeks ago, 1 month ago, that the deadline by when I should file the
The
forms,
extension
taxes, yeah,
because of
it's
COVID-19. Yeah.
15 April. No, I found out in general that the deadline is 15th of April about filings. And I was like, man, I don't know anything about that stuff. So I just went into Rampage, like watching videos and trying
Well,
to work it out.
it's a crazy form because the IRS, if you file it wrong or late, the IRS really does send out $25,000 penalty letters.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's really crazy. It's just because it's such a simple form. The information you're sharing isn't really complicated because it's just like transfers between yourself and the company. And just
Hmm.
if you send it in late, they send you an automatic letter for $25,000 penalty. And I don't even know how to evade it. Most people just close their company.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Isn't there anything like, for example, in my country, if you like, if you're a new company, obviously it's not called LLC in my country. If you're a new company and like you mess up a little bit and it's your first time, you're like, it's possible for them to like forgive you about that, but you
Yeah,
still have to go
and
through
I
the
do
procedure.
exactly. I do that for my clients, but
Okay.
I write long letters. I cite the code because it's a pretty big deal, especially for people that want to keep their companies.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't the IRS though. Although the earliest one I did, and I've done like 5 or 6 of them. I've done some in
Mm-hmm.
my earlier in my career, but for this purpose, I did like 5 or 6 different ones, and I haven't even gotten responses yet. The IRS has one little unit that only answers by mail, and they just send letters that say, "Hey, we need 90 more days." And I have one that's been over a year and a half that they haven't
Mm-hmm.
even given an answer yet.
Wow.
And I was like, these cases are usually pretty open shut. Like they paid an accountant, the accountant didn't file it, and it's just like really bad. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of
that's a
different.
sad
That's a
story.
different video.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
I see. I
it's
see.
but yeah, it's a serious thing. So you know now to get it done by April 15th of next year, and that's really it. Otherwise,
That's a
you
really
just
important thing.
work. Now
Yeah,
now you can stop learning about taxes. So you can just go back to selling your products and
exactly,
optimizing
exactly.
your ads and your landing pages. Yeah.
You just took such a burden of me when you told me that like I have to pay by next year, not by this year, because like it doesn't say anywhere on IRS website like if you open a new LLC. Well, basically it says like next year, but like is it the next accounting year? I don't know. It just
Yeah,
confusing a
it's
little bit.
just it's this year, but you can't file the forms until the year is over.
Uh-huh. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's true. Well, I don't want to hold you up.
No, it's fine. I
You
have, but thank you for the call, and thank you for sharing a little bit about your business with me today. And I wish you the best of luck in the future. You can feel free to reach out if you have any other questions going forward.
definitely, I'll be in touch if I have any legal questions. You're the go-to guy. I follow your YouTube channel. You reach out to me to give me like a really helpful information, and I'm thankful. I have to say.
Okay, cool, Theodore. Best of luck in your business, and we'll be in touch. Thank you, sir.
You too. Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye.